entire beautiful community of now. I hope we've built a beautiful community about all about us. And that's
Thank you for coming back.
right? But always committed to the disclaimer. We're talking about a topic. If this is the one that you decided to watch video, we're talking to you through the camera about sexual abuse, sexual assault, rape. If this is too much for you, we give you the blessing of shutting this off and finding another time, putting earpiece, in whatever works for you, watching it later. But as we promised, we're going to talk about when does the 6-year-old who's been abused, assaulted, raped, up to her almost 13th birthday, who becomes a nurse, a loving nurse. I met people who have been under your care who were like, love her. And then turns 38 years old.
It was
what happens?
Well, first of all, I got pregnant when my son was born when he was 36. So I'm a single mom, was a single mom. Now I got married later in life.
That's beautiful. Was a single mom.
Yeah, no, no.
So kudos to Mike.
Of course, now he's 36. So.
So is my daughter. Both of our girls here are 36.
So when I got pregnant, which sometimes is a trigger for survivors, any big life change, and this was a huge life change.
So you were able to establish a relationship, let's start with go to school, become a nurse, establish a relationship, carry a child, a loving child, your loved child, because I know this baby, who's about to get married, you talk about him all the time. Look at this face, look at this face. And all of these beautiful things you're able to do with pain. So I just want to make it clear that a lot of people are walking with such heavy luggage and somehow have the way to love and be tender and kind and all of that stuff. So at 38
is when I first told.
What makes you tell?
I think it was my time to tell. Everybody has their time that it's your time to tell, or it just comes. Yeah, in my case, I always say it's like a volcano.
Some people
I just couldn't hold it in anymore, and a friend of mine suggested that I go to therapy. This was about 2 years before I did tell my therapist, because he saw that I was having a lot of nightmares, or I would share these things with him, and I was crying a lot, and different things, and so he suggested that I go, and so I did, and I was about 2 years into therapy.
Do you think, I'm sorry to interrupt you, do you think that it was already
Oh,
boiling
yes.
and coming out,
It was
and now you can't control it, tears are coming down,
Yeah.
and your body's basically
It was
saying,
inching
It's
its way up. I had pressed it so far down because I didn't want to deal with it. It was impossible to deal with, so I wasn't going to deal with it. And I wasn't supposed to tell, and I still had Daryl's words in my head all the
are
time.
your parents alive when you're 38?
Yes, yes. So, anyway, it was my 38th Thanksgiving, which is the title of the chapter that I talk about this. I came home, put my son to bed. During the day, I felt sick. I threw up my food.
How old is he now?
He was about 2.
We do everything by our children.
I know. He was young. He was very young. So anyway, I figured since my stomach was bothering me, I could just wave bye-bye. But I did not feel good inside. I couldn't stay focused. I wasn't hearing everything people were saying. I love Thanksgiving, but this was not going well. So I went home, put my son to bed, and I realized that while we were gone, I had left candles on. I would never do that. So I wasn't fully myself. And I lay down on the couch to sleep, and I had the worst night terror that I ever had. And I really felt with a night terror, it's a very real experience.
Mhm.
So I felt like I was being raped.
Oh, again.
Definitely again. I woke up sweating with half of my clothes on and screaming and crying. And thank God my son didn't wake up. And I said, what the heck, you know? And I knew I had therapy the next couple days. And so
So you were already in therapy?
Yes, I had started therapy.
Did your therapist know?
No, I hadn't told him. All I did was cry and rip Kleenex in his office, and I would talk about different feelings that I had. But I did keep saying, there's something wrong with me. There's something wrong with me. You know.
That's not right.
But I didn't know what it was, and I didn't know why the pain was so deep. And
how long did it take you? This is really important, y'all. Listen to this. How long did it take you for you to open up to your therapist? Because
it was shortly after that. It was 2 years.
Shortly after that, 2 years.
Right.
I'm sure there's some therapists going, 2 years.
I know.
And there's others going, yeah, that's.
But that was my time. I wasn't ready to say it until then. And, you know, when I went in that, I had written in my journal. I always wrote my journal all the time. I got, you know, like so many journals at home because I always wrote.
Helpful?
Yes. I mean, I would say journaling is probably one of the tools that helped save my life, because sometimes I would have to journal 4 times a day just to get the words out of my body.
You were not worried that somebody would see those journals?
Well, at that time it was just me and Timmy, and he was too young to read. So, but later in life, you know, you marry somebody you trust. So I never would be afraid for him to read any of my journals. He never has. But I wrote this.
We'll talk about marriage and all those wonderful things later.
But I wrote it down in my book, and after I was done, I felt like sick to my stomach, and I went in and threw up. I mean, my body was just trying to get this out of it, I think.
So your therapist, and now I know this because
yes,
if you read the story, then therapists who make it to your book are good therapists, by the way. Is it female or male?
Man. And John was wonderful. He had this nice, calm voice. He ended up saying to me, I mean, he was always like this. I always got it as soon as I met him. But you can tell me anything, and I will not judge you.
And you trust
it's going to be okay. We're gonna do this together. And I guess finally I believed him enough. And
Jim, you said, finally I believed him enough.
Trust is really hard when you've been hurt so badly in your childhood. Even though you had that good side of the wall, which I trusted everybody on the good side of the wall. But Daryl made such an impression on
The perpetrator.
Right, on me, that trust was really scary, and I was now about to break the biggest rule, and that was to tell somebody what happened to me.
I want you to hear the words that we use, tell ourselves, how we protected ourselves, because once it's out there, okay, therapy is a closed door, and it is so hard. But there's a male. I just want to. So for those of you who are going, this is impossible. There's a male therapist. It takes you 2 years to actually come to this place that says, I can tell him now. Okay, he has the ability to make you safe and all of that stuff. And that day you tell. What happens when you tell Dear John? What happened to you?
Well, first of all, I had a whole plan. He was gonna turn the lights off in my head. I said, because I didn't want him to see me. Yeah. I was too ashamed to tell the story with this wonderful, kind person who I trusted, who wanted me to keep coming back to therapy, because I thought I was gonna wreck it by telling him this story.
I'm not gonna be loved again. Here it is, back again. No?
Same thing, yeah.
Okay, I'm not gonna be
He's going to
good
think
enough.
I'm too much trouble
Damaged
to take
goods.
care of. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And so I asked him to turn the lights off, and after about 20 minutes of our session, he said, I cannot do that. I have to be able to make sure you're okay. I want you to see my face. I need to see your face, and it's going to be okay. And somehow he convinced me, and I said the words, and that was the beginning.
I said the words.
I said the words. You know, you can write the words, but you can tear that up and make it into snowflakes. You know, you can just rip it all up and
Yeah,
know
my
what to
shredder's
say.
my friend.
Right, exactly, right? You know how to get rid of paper. But once you say the words, they're out, and he heard them, then that's the beginning. And for me, it was the beginning of a flood, volcano. Like everything that ever happened to me was now, it's like that Pandora's box. You know, you opened it up, and sometimes there's part of me that would say, well, why the hell did you do that? You know, because there was so
Why
much.
did you tell?
I know. Well, there was so much pain that came forward that I then had to deal with. But what I have found is that if I didn't do the therapy and do the work through those years of therapy and keep it up and ask for help, which was really hard to do, and tell the truth over and over and over again, I would not be here. So while therapy, in my case, seems like a lot of years of therapy. I just had therapy yesterday, but now I only have to go once every 2 weeks. You know, if I need more, she supplies more. You know, I can call her or text her if I get in trouble, but that doesn't really happen anymore. But I still need to go. But I would, had I not done the hard work, and a lot of people say, why did I start this therapy? Why did I start this
Oh,
therapy?
girl, I was one of them.
It is just
I walked
too
out
painful.
of one therapy session. I was
just
like,
too painful.
I gotta go to work on a Sunday. I gotta go to work, and I didn't work on Sundays. I was like, I gotta go to work.
Work was easy for me.
Oh, beautiful.
Because I had to, being a nurse, I just shut all that out and then just use that part of me that is smart, went to nursing school, knows how to take care of patients.
You feel brave.
And I feel brave, and I know how to do it. Therapy, I didn't really know how to do. You know, that was hard work. Being a nurse, which is really hard work, it's
God bless all
a
of them.
different kind of hard. You know, and it was what I knew, and it was something I was proud of.
Taking care of others versus taking care of yourself.
Much easier.
Amen to that. Amen to that. For all of you who are at home and we have the privilege of entering into your space, I want you to know that we hear therapy. Therapy's been helpful to me also. I'm a Puerto Rican woman, so therapy was that's for the those.
You can
those
say the word.
No, they didn't tell me the words. Like,
Yeah.
You know, there are all kinds of jokes. Chegando there, chegando like, Nothing was a complete sentence. There was a sound to everything.
But you knew what the sound meant.
Yeah, of course. Of course. To this day, people are giving up. You talk about medication. So for all of you who are at home and thinking, crap, I'm still in therapy. One of the things that I said to Kathleen, because we're friends, I was like, I graduated from one therapist, and she said, I'll never graduate. That was so healing for me, because I was at the point where I'm like, oh my God, I am still in therapy. You have to be kidding me. And you said to me, I will never graduate. And I thought that was like so helpful to me.
No, I talked to my current therapist, Marcy, yesterday, and we joked a little bit about the rocking chair phase of our therapy, you know, as we go into the older years, you know. And when you find the person, the good therapist that's helping you, it makes it possible. And it is possible. It is possible to heal from this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. we will see you in the next video. Kathleen can't go, she's my hostage, and I've said it publicly.